Now onto the 2008 Beaking. In the forks we have preload, compression, and rebound damping. And in the shock we have the same, preload, compression, and rebound. Given the configuration of the shock, most Suzukis have a stud going through the frame, so you can put washers or spacers underneath that to pick the back of the bike up. Now in this instance, this is a straight bolt through, so you don't have the ability to change the rear ride height. You'd have to go ahead and get an aftermarket shock for that. So let's get to measuring. Okay, let's put Dave on the bike at 180 pounds. Now we know this has 10 millimeters of free sag. So what I did was measure from the end of the axle casting here up to the joint of the fender and the exhaust. Now, right now, given Dave's weight at 180, we have 50 millimeters of sag in the back. So that's way too much. If we tightened it up, it might be usable. If you're 200 plus pounds, then this is not going to work for you. Moving on to the front of the bike, we know that topped out it was 130 millimeters. So here now we're at 80. So again, 50 millimeters of sag in the back. The good thing is the springs are balanced front to back because the sag's very comparable. The bad thing is if you're anywhere above 150 pounds, the bike's way too soft for you. Now, if this bike was too soft for a 180 pound rider, we've got some significant problems here. "65 millimeters of sag." So if you're anywhere in the region of 220 above, this bike is unsafe for you to ride on the street. It is completely unrideable. If you were to get on the gas, especially something as powerful as this, you'd probably bottom the shock out right away. Great for wheelies, but extremely dangerous, especially on downhill turns, because you'd have no weight on the front wheel at all. Moving to the front, just under half the travel's gone. So again, at this weight, at 200 plus, you have got to respring the bike significantly. Now, the one thing we can't do on the showroom floor is check the valving. So what you'd have to do is ride it, get the suspension settled in, bring it back, and then based on where the rebound setting is, see if you can get away with simply respringing, or you would have to go ahead with a spring and then revalve to suit the spring itself. So that's an option you have to try down the road. Now onto Lisa at 140 pounds. You set? 35 millimeters of sag. So on a bike of this magnitude, anything lighter than 140, the bike's perfect for you. Front brake. Front suspension is just a hair on the soft side, but we have lots of adjustability on preload. So this bike, as I said, has balanced springs. If you're 140 to 115, bike's perfect right off the showroom floor. Anything heavier than that, you're going to have to respring and potentially revalve, especially if you're over 200.